that these players do have.
Yep, will be interesting. Our first game on patch 13.13 here. Not a whole lot has changed, but we're going to get a look at the runes, and I'm expecting DCG's mid and top have gone for some pretty aggressive pages here. I mean, both of them really want to be able to get the lead, and I think it's going to be tough. Oh my god, look at that. The Absolute Focus and the Scorch picked up in both of those lanes, and I think smart by Jimmy to go for more sustain. I wonder what Rest is going to do in this Jax Gragas matchup. We have seen a few different responses. I mean, some of them is just losing, but Solo Kill, I think, kind of found a way to proxy the Gragas and get through some of that difficult stage of the lane without taking too much damage for it.
Yeah, and he did sort of had to... It was not only in his lane, though. They had to scout out where the junglers were as well, so he was able to look for that proxy. So we'll have to see if CFO are able to do that to allow Rest to have some breathing room in his isolated 1v1. And it looks like jungler, and at least Hana, should be pathing downwards. So after Rest does push this wave, if it doesn't get frozen just out front of tower, he should be able to look for a proxy, and it will be reasonably safe.
Yeah, we'll be really curious to see his take on the matchup. We have seen the Jaxes just get annihilated. But if you can get into that kind of Herald in a reasonably even state, I think you're pretty solid from there. Jimmy, he's dodged, I think, the first 2 Qs. Nice electrocute trade. Oh, another Q dodged. Okay.
Damn. Jimmy showing how good his hands are.
Botline Pro does go the way of the Kai'Sa. Not much Oyster can do here at the level 1. But this could be really tough, I think, for Gemini to find a way to do something. It's not very many lanes that you can really pressure. And not a lot of prio, though. Very early prio, I think, my favorite CFO here. You know, we often see the Jax kind of pushing into the Gragas and then getting frozen on outside the tower. Interestingly, Rest is remaining pretty healthy up there. Seems to be doing fine for himself. Mid lane, Jimmy, he has got the prio, but he's traded a lot of health for it, and more bot being traded on that bot side. And Jimmy, he's actually recalling. Is he just going to try buy a Dark Steel? Okay, so he cancels it. Is deciding to stay. I think it would have been a mistake to base there. He's sticking around, but this is when Mission is starting to become a lot stronger in lane. And Jimmy is probably going to feel the need to use abilities to CS, at which point a lot of your pressure over the lane will be lost. This is something Mission does very well. Always kind of picks and plays for that laning phase and snowballs it from there. Ana does start up this bot crab. Has the mid and bot prio, so should kind of be a given. And I really want to see what's going on top lane, because Rest doesn't seem to be facing any of the issues the other Jaxes have run into, which is strange because Hanabi, he started in lane, so it's not like a leash difference or anything, and might actually be getting ganked top from the way Gemini is positioning.
Yeah, that would be a disaster if that was to happen. I mean, he cancelled, he is going to go in, but this doesn't feel like you should. Okay, you get the flash. I mean, that's definitely decent.
Yeah.
Kind of surprising that he was able to even get that, but does work out for him. So flash advantage now afforded to Rest up on this top side. See if they can make use of it. It does feel like you might not be able to. Gragas is still pretty slippery in any case.
PCS is starting to go to Mission. Jimmy and can clear out under this tower, but this is what we're starting to see. Just those DCG, they have picked for this, for these strong lanes. And mid's certainly going the way you'd hope. Top lane, maybe not so much. This is very difficult for Jimmy to play. Maybe he can get some pressure here. Gemini's around and might find Mission if he walks the wrong way. Probably can force that TP out of Jimmy in here, but I really wish we had seen what happened top, because it doesn't seem like Rest really did anything different. Just didn't face the Gragas early trades or something.
Ooh. Dalsy getting a bit bored down there. Decides to activate. Does Shun landing a fair amount of damage here onto Orca. Wonder if he's going to look for a recall. He's quite low on mana. is channeling it now. Shun opting for the teleport, the heal on Israel here instead of the teleport. Quite often Israels do take teleport just for the ability to keep so much uptime, as you are such a safe AD carry anyway that the combat summoner often doesn't matter too much, but it is the heal. Means if there is to be a 2v2 down there, it's a little bit easier to navigate, although it still feels pretty hard nonetheless.
Mission's gone for the Mercs as well, which, while it is good against the Ari Sejuani mid-jungle, you do wonder if maybe it slows down your early game a bit too much. There's a very big difference there between buying something like the Chapter or even the Sork Shoes. Just the amount of pressure you can put out, while it does make you safer, comes at that cost of damage early, and damage early might be what they need.
Gemini cancelling that Vault Breaker, will be stunned up here by Orca. Nothing should come from it, it's just the pink ward cleared out there in that pixel bush. It is surprising to see Mission with the Merc Treads. He kind of seems like the mid lane and the most likely to avoid Merc Treads and go towards just straight laning pressure, but I guess it is nice being that you are so immobile to have a little bit more safety ensured. As Orca looking like he might get stunned up. Gemini not finding the fourth auto though, so not to happen.
Just trying to force them away. Maybe they can force them mid-prior.
Arctic Assault does land, but yeah, Orca just jumping away.
There's a lot of people around here. Maybe they can force this mid-prior and then look at the dragon after. The cannon does get dematted. But Jimmy's not super healthy. Mission has no ult, so I think CFO, if they do want this, probably can pick it up. But they are late to start on it. And this could mean bad things for the Herald afterwards. Are DCG going to try contest? I think Mission is not strong enough. He has very little mana and no ulti as well. This looks like a winning fight for CFO.
Yeah, certainly feels like it. Especially Israel in these skirmishes can offer so much. It is going to be disengaged from. And I think because they went to challenge this, there is also the possibility that this Rift Herald can get defended, because Mission is going to be so weak, being that he has no mana. Although Shun might have overstayed his welcome. Flash will be used as well as the heal. But the flash follow here will be found from Orca, the stun up, and he is going to go down. That's first blood now for Chris Carter on the Kai'Sa.
Are they out though?
Chelsea comes through. They're just going to claim one onto Orca, at least it looks like for now. Pulverize as well as Headbutt used. Gemini getting quite low, but it is going to be eventually that kill going over here to Chelsea. And at the top side, we see Hana will start on this Herald now, so they aren't going to just be a 1-for-1. It's going to be a 1-for-1, as well as the Herald here for DCG.
I think you're right. Or maybe not, though. Jimmian has first move. And you've got to wonder how much of this is because of Mission's buy. He had so much control, but he kind of gave it all up with the Merc Treads. And that's allowing... Oh, wow. Okay, so even with Jimmian's move there, the Herald does still get given over. So DCG, I mean, I think they're still pretty happy with how this has all went. They found this flank onto Shun. Even with the ward there, it just wasn't placed far enough out. Shun with E and Flash, it still wasn't enough. E, Flash, and Heal, in fact. Still wasn't enough to get him out. Just Kai'Sa Rel have so much threat. Vods 1 traded back onto Orca, and I believe Alistair picked it up. Which isn't the worst. I mean, having some stronger tanks early game is never bad. But you feel like Cascada getting that kill is definitely better. Now Mission's got the chapters, so I'm expecting him to be able to pressure the lane again. There was a long period there where he was missing some threat. Ooh! Sejuani over the wall. That's big though. That not finding anything means that Mission can play very aggressively here without fear of really being targeted. Nice by Cascada, just dodges out some of the damage there. And of course it will be the AD Kai'Sa build. Looks like he's working on the Kraken here. Having those AP solo laners kind of just makes you go towards it. There might be something here. Mission should be a lot stronger in this skirmish. Jimmy getting chunked out a lot in mid lane.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Ooh.
Ariel was forced. I think he was expecting the Oriole just to come out. Used it preemptively.
Ooh, nice trade found there. It's going to be Orca getting low. Essence Flux will land, so the follow-up damage, certainly nothing to laugh at, but we'll be able to just dive on out. Nice combo though from Chelsea to find the initial damage.
Mission, he should be safe here, but he is playing very aggressively. Jimmy almost has TP, so he's going to kind of get a chance to breathe momentarily. Wonder if Mission will try just look for the ult. Knows that Ari ult is missing. Hana's around, maybe trying to find an angle to use the Herald, but doesn't seem to be one. Chelsea is spending a lot of time mid.
Mission very far up is going to get himself out of range of that charm. But definitely winning out, at least in the isolated 1v1 now. Going up 14 CS and forcing out yet another recall from Jimmy. And does have the teleport, so he'll be able to rejoin. But at the moment, Chelsea has to be a little careful. In fact, does get out, but Hana jumping over. Will not have the smite to take away that blue buff, as Gemini does confirm it.
Second drag.
Yeah.
It's not too far away. Have to see what items can come through.
All Jimmy-in.
Okay, Mission will be going for the Leandry, so not doing any Shadow Flame technology, which I think does make sense since they do have that, you know, multiple sources of magic damage. More likely to be MR that comes through early. But importantly, there is the Mythic on Kristgata. He's got the Kraken, which is going to put him very, very strong for this first fight. You got to think this is one that DCG probably should win. Top lane, we haven't looked there in a while, but Rest is now very low on HP under his tower. Herald does get dropped mid. Quite far ahead of time of the drag. Ooh, Rest dodges away from one, but is still just taking a lot of damage.
Oh, engage found here from Chelsea as the true shot barrage will come through. Orca gets really low. Magnastorm does come out, but it's going to be the first kill at least picked up here from Shun. And the Rift Herald will not find anything, so just a clean kill and gets rid of that Rift Herald as they do head towards this dragon up in 15 seconds.
Really nice pick found there. Oh, but is it over?
Oh, but the Vault Breaker here onto Gemini. He's getting low, but so is Hana as Chelsea Hex flashes away, and the teleport coming in will be from Hanabi, who flashes forward, but it's Chelsea who finds a 3-man knock-up to try and stop anything from happening. Rest still does have teleport available as all 4 members of DCG here trying to chase down CFO up into the top side. Charm will land here into Hanabi, and they are looking like Chelsea will get out. Dragon, though, does feel like neither team can really look for it right now.
Yeah, our low health bar is kind of across the board. Herald dropped pretty early here. It's a 4v4 on midwave. Critically, Orianna is missing ult, which is so big, and Chelsea finds that fantastic engage. Lots of damage comes through, and Jimmy buys so much time in that backline. And I think with the Ori ult missing, just don't really have the damage to turn this into a one team fight. There was a super nice pick there for CFO. Top side starting to go the way we might expect it. Gemini, he's going to show top here, but I think Hanabi might be...
Body slam, flash, no flash. Ensure the counter-strike lands there for the stun as Arctic Assault also will land and Rest. Actually, Gemini picking up himself a kill. It is going to be the Dragon traded over, but Jack's getting himself a nice early kill here onto Gragas.
Importantly, kill did go over to Gemini, but we'll be able to get top plates, which feels very, very nice. And Hanabi, he didn't have the flash, and he doesn't have TP either, so top tower is going to take a real beating here. There's no TP from Mission to go up and answer
Jimmy in though, staying a bit too long, will get hit by the Shockblade. Magnastorm comes through as well, and the Spirit Rush is not enough as he will be confirmed by the cease and desist for Hana's Vi.
A lot used onto him there. Gemini, think he's out. Really shouldn't be much else coming through. That's a pickup. I think it went to Hana on the Vi. And it is kind of nice, I think. Would be better on the Orianna for sure, but gold can be used well. Poor Jimmy, I mean, there was so much threat that came out onto him. Chelsea wants to do what he can to delay Mission's recall. Herald is up, and right now CFO's bot lane on that midwave do have priority. Mission has TP in 15 seconds, so he wants to be able to delay to that, and then just kind of base TP to that fight. And Kristgata, despite having a kill, is actually very low down on the player gold. In fact, he's quite behind Shun.
Yeah, 30 CS gap.
It's pretty big. Leandries now is picked up by Mission, so has started to come online here. He TP's bot. Interesting. Okay, so because Mission TP'd bot, I think they're just saying this Herald is gone and they're going to try play for bot side instead. Looks like that's what they're doing. Jimmy is actually going to have to be really careful here under tower with no flash. In fact, I think Jimmy might just be dead.
Chelsea is trying to get there, but will it be too little too late? Does look like for now. Spirit Rush is going to be used as he tries to disengage, and now Chelsea turning up on that Oyster. Looks like Jimmy's gotten away with it.
Wow. There was no Vi ult up, and I guess no Rel ults either, so it didn't quite have the cooldowns, but the fact that Jimmy managed to survive on that weak side is very important. Credit to Chelsea, who read the play and was able to come down. Herald and the top tower go the way of CFO. I think bot might end up being traded for it. So gold just kind of all around right now.
Rish does have to be careful of giving over the first tower. I couldn't see the health on the bot wave, but does confirm first tower here for the Jacks. And with that, as well as sort of evening out the CS, it should be Jacks pretty favored in this matchup now.
Yep. Chelsea has kept this tower alive for
Charm
so
lands.
long.
It will be the headbutt and the pulverize. He's going to bring Mission into that tower, but the shockwave confirms the first as Hana gets away with that shield from Mission's Oriana.
Wow, so close. But Jimmy and falling further behind, and he might even still lose that bot tower. Rest does have TP, so if Mission walks up too far, will find himself punished for it. Jimmy, he doesn't have the ult here, unfortunately. Chelsea's still trying to protect this play. Actually find something very nice onto Mission. The charm comes out, max range. The follow-up from Oyster, but just so much damage and ult advantage for the DCG side. Hana lives on a sliver of health. Mission's gone for the Void Staff second. So something we've seen a lot into people that are going Merc Treads early, and especially when you do have that double AP, you can kind of pick it up preemptively. But I'm a little surprised, mainly just because it's Mission. You know, he likes his Shadow Flame, that guy. Looking towards the next dragon now, though. A minute and a half away. Item advantage mid. Mission just does a lot more than Jimmy does at this point. But Shun is very strong as well. Has been getting himself a lot of gold. The Herald does go down mid. Well, it doesn't end up taking that much damage. They don't really have anything to back it up.
I think focus might be around this dragon. Obviously, each team one apiece. I think it'll be important to see, can Shun pick up his mirror mana before this dragon? Definitely is close to it at this stage. Should only be about 1,000 gold. I'm sure he's had some CS since then. Can sell the Dorans as well. But if he does pick up mirror mana prior to this dragon fight, you'd almost have to feel like it's definitely CFO favored, I think.
Maybe. I think it is pretty hard to say. I mean, gold is still very even at this point. Could just come down to, can Ezreal land some sort of poke before the fight starts? Jimmy and down 1,000 gold to Mission. Cascada's starting to catch back up. Has been just able to kind of freely farm mid waves. Now, Rest is pinging on his way to top. He does have TP, so he can get down here, but might be better just to have your Jax kind of split at this point. Not sure if he's going to be that useful. The way CFO seem to be positioning, it looks like they want to give this one up, but can they find a trade for it? Cascada could be the target.
Yeah, Glacial Prison does land here. It's going to be Hanabi, who's just CC'd for so long, allowing Gemini to pick that kill up for himself. Spirit Rush still available, at least 2 charges over here for Jimmy on this Ahri, but is going to time out. It will be the tower. Obviously, they do lose this dragon, and teleport from Mission will be used here to stop any further pushes onto this top lane inner. But I think all things considered, giving over that dragon for the gold that CFO picked up, definitely good for the side of CFO.
Yep. Does feel pretty nice, and Hanabi, I think he just thought he was safe. Unfortunately, there was just so much chain CC that came out here. I think it started with the Sedge ult. I'm a little surprised that Cascada wasn't looked at, but you can see here that even the tankier Gragas really doesn't last too long. That was with Merc Treads as well, so just couldn't really get out of that CC chain. Second drag did go the way of DCG. Gold difference, though, now starting to go the other way. As CFO, they're pulling slightly ahead.
Ooh.
I think
He's teleporting bot here.
yeah, he's got Hull Breaker, so I guess Jimmy's just going to reset and go to the top side. But this is a very important kind of moment, I think, for CFO. They have probably the stronger mid-game spike. You know, you've got this 2-item Jax, 2-item Ezreal, and RECC is still very important. You need to kind of, I think, get a lot done in this kind of 20 to 30 minute period here, because I think if the game goes longer, the Orianna is going to get a bit too strong. But right now, I think CFO definitely a little favored.
Damn, this is interactive.
Yeah, it feels so bad, right? Even with the Hull Breaker, you just struggle to actually hit the tower. Hanabi can just kind of tank it off the whole time. Maybe he'll run out of mana before he kills that cannon creep.
It's taken him quite a bit. Hana, oh. I wonder if he wasn't in range or if he was too worried about
Yeah, I think he wasn't in range.
potential collapse. Because if he does get that off, he's probably getting Arcane Shift flashed into a tower.
Void Staff already here for Mission, which is pretty important because now that Sedge starting to get quite a lot of MR, is going to be able to deal with her and has a good build for doing it. Ana, getting pretty aggressive here. Needs to be careful.
Ooh, charm. It also will be the pulverize used, but Ana, fairly unfazed, will just Vault Breaker, exchange CC with the Alistair. As he's now in this Pixel Brush, Chelsea now has to be a little bit careful. Those Void Seekers not hitting like they sometimes do.
In the meantime, though, Rest is getting stuff bot.
Gonna be Gale Force Kai'Sa, by the way. Not what we typically see, but nonetheless, certainly can't be too bad. I mean, it will, you know, give you an execute as you do follow up on what will likely be a Vi Orianna engage or even a Ral Orianna engage.
There's a lot of engaged tools. Very hard to siege mid for DCG. The Ezreal just too safe, too much wave clear as well. 1:40 on this next drag. Now, Ocean Drake, very good for DCG, up against the Ezreal poke, of course. Question really will be, are CFO going to play for it or not? Because they do have a Hull Breaker on the Jax. Maybe they want to keep split pushing, but with that third dragon already, you know, maybe being looked at, maybe they don't want to either. A Banshees comes through on Jimmy, and this is a very low damage build. But he's not there for damage, really just wants to be that utility. Mission now probably working on the Rabadons. Just a minute away, and I think whoever wins this next fight is going to be in a very controlling position. Both teams should have the damage to deal with Baron at this point. Abyssal Mask on Gemini, so the Void Staff by Mission is really paying off.
Definitely. And I wonder, it looks like next Jack's item will be the Black Cleaver. I mean, it still could be something like the Steerax, but it is delayed obviously by one item since the Hull Breaker has been picked up. It also means that if there is any Zhonya's to be looked towards for Rest, it'll be coming through at 4th item. So a lot of delays because of this Hull Breaker, and it feels like it's pretty meaningless because the Gragas doesn't feel like he's under pressure. Just sits there clearing your wave.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the argument is you are keeping Gragas in the side lane rather than grouped, but at the same time, you're not really making any headway. And now, Dragon spawning feels like this Hull Breaker Jax will kind of be forced to group. I think this is a fight that DCG should win, but could, of course, just come down to execution. It is CFO that have the control. Very difficult to face check this for anyone, really. Ooh, Oriole just onto 1.
Yeah, that's a big cooldown that's been used. Obviously, it does chunk Shun a little bit, but Ocean Dragon Soul means there are just honey fruit all over the place, as well as this Alistair sustain was...
And he took a red buff.
Yeah.
Well, felt pretty pointless there. And Mission, the way he's kind of built is to deal with tanks, not to deal with squishies. So focusing Shun there honestly feels pretty inconsequential. I mean, they could turn to Baron, but without having the Orianna ult, feels like a problem. And this is often when DCG do kind of start to slip up. Their mid game is just not as good as other teams. They often find themselves with those big leads early, but either macro poorly or team fight not so well. 2 dragons apiece, full CFO, and I think we could be looking probably just towards the next dragon. I mean, neither team really wants to fight, feels like. Just going to keep picking up items. Rest content to continue pushing on bot. Has level 16 here, pretty early on. Gemini here spotted out, so Mission should be fine to sit here for a bit. And Mission really wants to see if he can get his Rabadons before the next fight. Oh, lots of damage onto Cruscata.
I wonder what the break point of this game is going to be. Because at the moment, it seems like both teams are happy just to sit here scaling. But at some stage, something's got to give. It could be over a Baron or it could be over a split push. But I think the Jax and the Gragas are containing themselves in their lane. And then a sort of between the Sejuani and Vi, a lot of face checking the clear visions going on. And then it's just every now and then the dragon spawns. There's not even really a fight over it. One team just realizes the other team's got the priority over it and give it.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a break point somewhere. And
it does. It feels like, I don't know, it almost has to be on one of these big objectives because it's just so hard to pick when you've got this Ezreal and the Ahri. Just so mobile. There's even a Hex Drinker for sure, and now a stopwatch as well on Jimmy. So not a lot of damage, but certainly a lot of survivability. 3 minutes on next drag. Mission, he's got those 2 rods. Not sure if he's going to be able to upgrade it, but it would be a huge spike for the next one.
3 minutes. I think it's doable. As long as he is able to access minion waves. But at the moment, it is Cruscata just clearing them up. He should have the top wave coming in that Jimmy's pushing right now. Mission finding himself at a fairly comfortable CS lead, obviously. Up 40 CS here over Jimmy's Ahri. It does mean that he's likely to get to that 3rd item. That's a massive wave coming in, so I feel like he will have the Rabadons prior to this next dragon. And saying that, though, if he uses his ult how he did last time, could just mean they lose out on the dragon anyway. I think it's important to see how that shockwave is used. It almost feels like at this stage of the game, unless there is an egregious misplay from Shun, that you probably just want to chuck it onto your Rel or chuck it onto your Vi and just have it as follow-up for their engage. We'll have to see, though.
He picked up level 16 there as well, so he does have a lot of damage on his ult. Shojin is the pickup here for Rest.
Wow.
Have some very low cooldowns. And I'm not sure what happened with the Kai'Sa items, but I think she went PD 2nd, Navori 3rd, so no Gale Force.
Oh, so she just got the BF sword to upgrade Q and then went Zeal into Phantom Dancer.
Bit different. You can build whatever you want on that champ.
That is true.
Okay, a minute and a half. Very slow game from 2 very fast teams. Not what we'd expect.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say before. Is it feels like out of every team in the league this split, these are the 2 teams that want to win early. But here we are, almost at 30 minutes with a fairly actionless game. In fact, gold is pretty much entirely even.
Yeah.
300 gold isn't really much to speak of.
No. Pretty much everything feels even at this point. Mission is recalling. Is this just for mana, or does he have the death cap? It is a full... Okay, he does have the death cap, and a more picked up for Shun. So some huge spikes coming out right now. And really, I think it does just come down to execution. Maybe slightly DCG favored, but, I mean, if we get some one-man Orioles, it's not going to cut it. Jimmy feels like he might be too safe a target to be looked at. Has Banshee and Stopwatch. Also just doesn't deal a lot of damage. Feels like almost a waste of time to look at him.
You know what I find interesting about Rest's build? As he went Hullbreaker 2nd, which is really good for side laning, and then Shojin 3rd, quite good for team fighting. Feels like he's just not sure exactly what he's doing here.
Does feel a little all over the place. I wonder, is there potential for DCG just to trade this dragon for Baron? It feels like they don't have enough control on bot side to really get to it. They are kind of posturing around top side. Maybe don't want to start up Baron versus an Ezreal, though. Would take a lot of damage.
Cruscata, nice dodge.
Yeah.
Supercharge just gets him out of the line of that true shot barrage. It does seem like they're turning their attention towards this Baron, but I don't know if they know that the entirety of CFO are in this region. Mission
Yeah.
looking for Jimmy but he's not over that wall. It is a Baron down now, quite low. Gemini, Arctic Assault in, will find that Glacial Prison here onto Cascada. Jimmy jumping in, does have to go golden with that stopwatch. As Gemini is going to try and find things on the back line. Jimmy goes down here to Cascada, who is still at full health, but every member of CFO that is still alive is also, as Rest finds that important stun there, will land onto Orca as Hana flashes away. Another stun landed onto Rest, the Spirit Shojin getting him so much cooldown. Counter-strikes just constantly up, and the True Shot Barrage will not find Hana, but it will mean a disengage, and it's only the one kill picked up here for the side of DCG over onto CFO.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy fight there. Went on for so long. And there was a lot of damage put out by the DCG backline, but Shun kind of kept them in it. And I wonder now, okay, there is not good tempo here. Well, we'll look at this replay first, but I wouldn't be surprised to see DCG just back on this Baron when we head back to live. They started up, they're trying to force a response out of CFO, and a response is what they get. TP does come through, they engage. It was found on Cascada, but he has that cleanse. And Jimmian kind of stuck with nowhere to go. Another fairly poor Orianna ult, only really found the Jax, but Jimmian, we head back to live. They are starting the Baron.
Yeah, it is low.
Ooh.
It is going to be Mission who picks that one up on the Orianna. On the backline, though, it's Orca getting really low here to both the carries of CFO. Spirit Rush will receive its reset. It's a low health bar here for Hana in the pit. Chelsea goes down. Gemini, 1 HP. Counter-strike coming through here for Rest on the Jax. It's another 1-for-1. Gemini Spirit rushing away from Hanabi on the Gragas. Does have one more ability to use. As the speed up comes through, Charm lands. Hanabi getting poked out here by Shun. 3v3 still left as Shun landing more and more poke. Getting that Kai'Sa down fairly low, but ultimately it will be the Baron picked up by DCG for a 2-for-2.
These fights feel like more should be happening, but people just keep on getting out. And Shun is dealing so much damage, almost untouchable in these fights, especially because the Vial keeps kind of going towards other people. That is a third dragon picked up for CFO, but it is the Baron for DCG. We'll get a replay of it. So DCG with much better tempo do just opt to start up this Baron, force Shun to come away from that dragon and come to this fight. They do secure the Baron. Oh, was almost picked up there. I feel like team fight afterwards could have been a bit better. Nice Orianna ult this time. But honestly, just Shun is completely untouched. He finds Orca and is just poking for free the entirety of the fight. Rest was altered, but it does come at Hana's death, and Cascada can't even chase him down. Two towers already picked up for DCG, so 4K Baron power play. Can they get more? I think they want to be able to break the base. Chelsea.
Ooh, okay.
Almost
That
found.
was close.
Now there is no cleanse on Cascada for a small window. If they can find something onto him. They've got two cannons here. It's not easy to take these out either. The Ezreal has to get past this creep wave. Tower's taking a lot of damage, and I think Shun might be looked at by Oriol soon if he's not careful.
Yeah. Oh, Arctic Assault as well as the Glacial Prison lands onto Orca here. But at least for now, it looks like that is simply trying to relieve some pressure. Does finally manage to take care of that top wave. As now, attention towards the mid wave. And again, top wave, True Shot Barrage will not find any champions. Does clear out a little bit of those melee minions as Rest and Hana going at it down the side. It is going to be Chelsea found up. Not sure what happened there. Shockwave still available here for Mission, so CFO having to be really careful as they lose the Inhibitor tower now. Inhibitor also going to likely fall. With that Alistair gone, there's not all that much engaged. Sejuani, no ult available. It is going to be two Inhibs now found here for DCG, and they're looking for more. Cascada still alive, very healthy, as are all of DCG. As Rest gets poked down, he's down to half HP. Shun stunned up, but does manage to channel that dash away. Hanabi getting very low here. Is going to body slam out. Jimmian, sorry, gets found by the shockwave, but Spirit Rush will ensure his safety. It's so close. One Nexus tower does go down, but ultimately the base is still somewhat intact.
Yeah, two Inhibs down though, and the base broken. It's going to be difficult to contest the next Baron or the next Dragon that comes up. Feels like DCG, it's definitely their game to win. Kind of comes down to Kenshin put in a just huge 1v9 performance. He's getting close to full build here. Friscata even grabbed himself a QSS. Mission, I guess he's going towards the Shadow Flame. Has a stopwatch as well for extra safety. The carries are well and truly online now. Looks like Rest will start working on his Zonya, which I think is actually pretty big. Can use it on the Oriole. Or even on the Vial, if it happens. Ooh, and Chelsea, he's got a flank. He cancels. Feels like he's out of position now, though. Needs to be careful, because he's very far from the fight.
A lot of members of DCG in this bot side quadrant.
Oh, Chelsea, he's coming up the lane, maybe.
Oh, okay, he has got a very, very deep flank, and at the moment he's not knowing.
Will they find him?
What can he find with this? Flash is available. He's found Mission. He's pulverized him into the team. Headbutts are found. There's CC all over the show, but it's still health bars. Fairly high here for DCG. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment, as Chris Carter will be going forward. He is going to eventually use that killer instinct here to find the kill into Gemini as Shun goes golden, but he's on 1 HP. Gemini flashes away. Shun trying to get out, but he won't. It's Chris Carter finding a triple. He's hunting this quadrant. He's hunting the win here for DCG. CFO, it's going to be a game lost by them. They're now even on the scoreboard with the side of DCG as they pick up their win here in the game.
They do. And in that last team fight, Mission obviously was taken out extremely early, did 600 damage. Chris Carter did 11,000.
Crazy.
On the Kai'Sa. And you gotta wonder, I mean, I think DCG were pretty